Thank you. Good evening. It's a pleasure to be here on this anniversary of the Triangle Shirtwaist Factory fire of 1910. It's great to hear people talking about workers and their rights. So I will just read the statement from Danny Glover. He's currently shooting a film and he couldn't be here tonight, but he is definitely here in spirit. 50 kilometers outside of Pretoria, the capital of South Africa, vanadium mine workers and their families are making the ultimate sacrifice to support our quality of life here in the West. For they are being poisoned by the toxic metal that is used to strengthen the steel in everything from our flatware to our cars, planes, and most egregiously, our military weapons. And yet the stories of the men and women who have made this extraordinary sacrifice have thus far not been told outside of South Africa. The mission of the Symposium on Vanadium Poisoning in South Africa is to hear from the miners and labor organizers themselves and to learn from the scholarship of Barnard students and faculty about their research on vanadium poisoning so that we may inform people here in the U.S. as well as in the larger international community about a tragedy of enormous relevance. Workers and their families have died and become chronically ill as a result of exposure to vanadium. Corporations fleeing environmental restrictions in the U.S. have settled in developing countries like South Africa, where labor is cheap and enforcement of environmental regulations is limited, if not non-existent. But for the residents of the vanadium mining community in Brits, the price of being employed is extremely high. Reports from this community of asthma, chronic bronchitis, vital organ failure, sexual dysfunction, and cancer must not continue to be ignored by the global community. People should not have to choose between their jobs and their lives. And developing country governments should not have to choose between protecting their citizens and the environment that sustains them and accepting external trade and financial pressures that are unfairly brought to bear on their economies. I was pleased to provide resources for a conference held in Brits and for the taping of interviews with the miners themselves. I am personally committed to ensuring that the story of the mining community in Brits gets told. It is a story that reflects apartheid and its shattering legacy, a story of exploitation by the powerful and wealthy of the poor and disadvantaged. But it is also a story of resistance and spiritual resilience. Above all, it is a story that the global community must hear and develop a concrete response to. I thank President Judith Shapiro of Barnard College for her leadership and commitment to producing young women who achieve academic excellence inside the classroom and then challenge themselves to make a real difference in the world. I would also like to acknowledge the Barnard faculty, Diane Dittrich and Tim Halpin-Healy, who traveled with the students. Dr. Marcia Coleman-Adebayo, who organized the trip, has told me about the incredible support from Dean Vivian Taylor and Dean Rosalind Rosenberg. Students Alexandra Severino, Haley Holness, Alexandria Wright, and Kendra Tappan must be commended for their courage and commitment to seeking out the truth and providing their skills in solidarity with communities struggling under the burden of overwhelming economic and political forces. Thank you.